welcome students in our today's session. Our today's lecture is actually in the continuation of our earlier discussion of our present essay of studies, which is written by Francis Bacon. And in our earlier lecture, we have also discussed about the author and his background information and a little bit background information of this essay also. So now let's start the text here. I am reading for you. Studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. Their chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring. For ornament is in discourse, and for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. For expert, men can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one, but the general counsels and the plots and marshalling of affairs come best from those that are learned. So, students, as you can notice here, the opening line of this essay, which is studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. So, this opening line of Bacon's essay is telling us that uses of studies, different types of uses of different kinds of uses of studies. He says here that there are three advantages of studies. In the first place, the reading of books gives us intellectual joy. For delight here means it also serves for our intellectual joy. It gives us intellectual joy and recreation. For ornament, in the second place, studies embellish our conversation. We are able to explain our views and ideas with suitable illustrations. So, in this way, it serves for ornament. And thirdly, when he says for ability, so they actually studies help us to develop our mental capacity, talents, and faculties. So, the studies make us efficient at our work or profession. We not only enjoy books in solitude but also derive embellishment in daily discourse and help in business. The studies give us a great deal of help. So, thus, this is the basic idea behind this, the concept of studies as here given by Bacon. And now moving ahead, when he says that it is for ornament, it is in discourse, like we have already get the basic point here, that it for ornament it also enables us to develop our mental capacity and disposition of business. For expert, men can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one, but the general counsels and the plots and marshalling of affairs, that affairs come best from those that are learned. So here Bacon is telling us as the uses of studies, and moving ahead, he says that studies are not only for delight but also for ornament and for ability also. Studies are a great help to the businessman. As he says here, disposition of business. So studies are a great help to the businessman as well. So in these lines, he points out the main difference between a professional man and a learned man in the field of a business, that how they can be different. Bacon says that a learned man who enjoys a distinct advantage over the other, the professional man can calculate the details of a business. So, however, the vision of a professional man is limited in this way. He cannot have a broad view of the whole affair. But on the other side, the learned man, when he says here, marshalling of affairs come best from those that are learned. That learned man, on the other hand, can successfully direct the general policy of business. He can also direct the management of general problems. So, thus, a man who has studied books on commerce, industries, and economics proves to be more competent than one who is simply professional. So, in this way, here the importance of the study of business administration and business management has been accepted today all over the world. So we also see in present scenario as well. So in this way, studies can be very helpful. Now moving ahead, to spend too much time in studies is sloth. To use them too much for ornament is affectation. To make judgment holy by their rules is the humor of a scholar. They perfect nature and are perfected by experience, for natural abilities are like natural plants that need pruning by study, and studies themselves do give forth directions too much at large, except they be bounded in by experience. So, here in these lines, Bacon is pointing out the defects of excess of studies, that how excess of studies can be harmful for us. So, he says that excess of everything, as we know, that excess of everything is bad. It can be result in negative terms. So, this rule applies to studies also. If we go on reading throughout the day without doing our respective business, we would be called indolent. To spend too much time in study is sloth. So, by this he means that if we spend too much time on reading, we would be called as sloth, indolent. So, like other things in life, excessive indulgence in studies should be avoided. And studies are not an end in themselves, they are a means to an end. When he says to use them too much for ornament is affectation, to make judgment holy by the rules is the humor of a scholar. Here he says that some men who make too much show of their learning and studies, they presents themselves in exaggerated way. So they do so by an excessive use of quotations or illustrations. So this is also not good. Okay. So this show of learning amounts can be called as pedantry. Then there are some people who follow to make judgment holy by the rules is the humor of a scholar. So when there are some people who follow rules given in books to the last point without exception, so they do not try to understand a particular situation. So this Bacon condemns. So he says that it is a kind of pity that these learned men blindly stick to the book's rules without noting exceptions. So although there are laws and rules who are useful in ordinary duties of life, yet we should not base our judgment wholly on them. So allowance must be made for conditions and circumstances in each application. So again, when he says for natural abilities are like natural plants, so this is something very something of very much importance, that here Bacon is actually telling about the defects of excess of studies, and now furthering his argument, he says that we should be very judicious and while using or applying our practical knowledge or experience. And so Bacon says that studies and perfect nature are perfected by experience, as he gives an example that our innate capacities, that everybody has some kind of natural talent or capacities. So the innate capacities and natural gifts are developed and made perfect by studies. Or all bookish knowledge should be supplemented by practical experience. So when he says natural abilities are like natural plants that need pruning by study, so we need studies, our bookish knowledge supplemented by practical experience. So man's or human beings' natural capacities required to be directed by studies. So this is what Bacon has said here. And Bacon here compares our innate capacities to the trees, to the natural plants or trees that grow freely in forest. And he also means here that when he said themselves to give force, direction to muscle large, but except they be bounded in by experience. So he means to say that for proper and better growth, the natural the trees, okay, they require pruning. Just like the same way, our natural gifts and talents require proper training and guidance. So this training can only be had by studies, and without studies our natural gifts cannot develop properly. They require the training through books in the same way as plants require trimming for their proper development. So studies alone do not help much. So the instructions given by the books are vague and of a very general nature. They can be of real use only when perfected by our real life experience or experience of the real world. So these suggestions, the suggestions given in the books ought to be supplemented by practical experience of the world. Now, moving ahead, crafty men condemn studies, simple men admire them, and wise men use them, for they teach not their own use, but that is a wisdom without them and above them, won by observation. So, here Bacon says that different persons look upon studies in different ways. So, here he has mentioned some of people, different kinds of people who treat studies in different ways. Men may be divided into here 3 categories. First, he says that there are crafty person, okay, crafty men who are cunning and artful, and such men do not understand the significance of studies. So they therefore they hate studies, they condemn studies. And secondly, there are simple persons, okay, who are virtuous and open-minded and innocent people who admire studies, and they appreciate studies and understand the utility of study in their life. And now, third type of people, he says that they are wise men who understand their proper use. The wise people, they utilize studies in their best way, so they profit by studies. So why it is all the 3 types of person do not derive similar benefits from studies? It is because the study of books provides them with the knowledge only. It does not teach us how this knowledge is to be used. So its use depends upon the person concerned. So the wisdom to use studies for our benefit comes from experience and observation. So when he says that is a wisdom without them and above them, won by observation. So the wisdom to use studies to make much benefit actually comes from our real life experience and observation. So books do not tell us how best we can utilize them. Crafty men and simple men do not have wisdom to use the knowledge of books for their benefit, while wise men alone have it. So they derive the greatest benefit from the knowledge gained from books. Now moving ahead, read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and not and take for granted, not to find, probe and discourse, but to weigh and consider. So in these lines, Bacon actually tells us the correct views of studies. He tells us what studies should mean for us. He says that read not to contradict and confute, not to believe and take for granted. Studies are not meant for making us able to oppose others in arguments. Studies should not be used to prove other people wrong. We should not accept anything we read in books blindly. Studies should not be used merely for embellishing conversation. The true use of studies is different from all this. So studies should be used to weigh and consider. Studies should be used to compare the merits of different things and then coming to a conclusion. Studies should help us examine things with a view to accept it if they are right, and reject if they are wrong. So for today's this is sufficient. Students, we will carry on our later part of this essay in our next session. Thank you.